kids are usually tiny bundles of joy. These kids, on the other hand, are far from it. Jasmine Richardson. 12-year-old Jasmine Richardson and her 23-year-old boyfriend, Jeremy Steinker, fatally stabbed Jasmine's mother, father, and younger brother. Motive? Her parents, shockingly, did not approve of their relationship. Jasmine was found guilty and sentenced to 10 years in prison.
All I gotta say is, bro, she ain't even a teenager, and you fucking a teenager, my nigga. Like, she's 20, like, you 23, 24, and she's only 12. And it's crazy, like, he mentally fucked this little girl. Like, she's only 12 years old. She's not even a teenager or been a teenager for a while. She's not even 17, 18, you feel me? And I know in Michigan, they got a fucked up law where you can be like 14 or some shit, 15 or some shit, and can legally marry a little young motherfucker, you know? So, yeah, I feel bad for the parents, you know, for going through this, the kids, the brothers and sisters. You know, I feel bad that for people who got to go through shit like this.
Nehemiah Griego. 15-year-old Nehemiah decided one night to load up a .22 caliber rifle and kill his own mother. The noise woke up Nehemiah's 9-year-old brother, who was understandably devastated by what he saw. So Nehemiah killed his brother as well. He then murdered his 2 infant sisters, waited for his dad to get home, and then killed him as well. Hiroshi Miyano, Jo Ogura, Shinji Minato, and Yasushi Watanabe. One terrible afternoon, 4 Japanese teens abducted high school student Junko Furuta in 1988. She was then raped as many as 400 times, tortured and mutilated for 40 days. After succumbing to the abuse, they disposed of her in a drum of wet concrete. The torture was so extreme, she could only be identified by her finger.
All I gotta say is this is some very sick demonic shit that we just heard about what these Asian people just did to that girl. Rest in peace to her soul, man. That is terrible. And I hope they got what they deserve, because that is just, god damn, that is just terrible. I couldn't even think what somebody mentally feeling or going through while being tortured and raped and going through all that stuff. And then they only could identify her through fucking, I mean, damn, through her fingerprint. God damn. Man, people are so sick and fucked up, y'all. Y'all just got to be safe out there, man. Y'all got to be so safe.
Prince Rachel Schoaf and Shalia Eddy. High school student Skylar Neese snuck out one night to join her friends Rachel and Shalia. The plan was for the 3 to drive out to a secluded spot where they would occasionally smoke weed. It was there they stabbed Skylar to death, hid the body, and went on with their lives. Rachel eventually confessed, resulting in their...
Now that's real sad to know. You out here chilling with your friends, doing dumb shit, having a good time, and then they plot to kill you. And then you thinking to yourself, like, damn, I thought we was cool. We all out doing dumb shit together. If we was to get caught, we'll be all in trouble together. You know, friend shit, like y'all together. But one of the friends couldn't take what they done, because that is very cruel and very rude to fucking be friends with somebody and then kill them. You know, you shouldn't want to kill anybody. But at the same time, your friend that you doing dumb shit with, why would you want to kill them for? But I'm happy that someone had a guilty conscience and did snitch, because that shit ain't cool at all.
Arrest. John Venables. 2 10-year-old boys, Robert Thompson and John Venables, on the 12th of February 1993, abducted a 2-year-old boy named James Patrick Bulger. The boys met James at a shopping center where they led him away from his mother. They then mutilated, tortured, and murdered him. His mutilated body was found on a railway line 4.
Now, this come to let y'all know parents need to do a lot better than what they doing. Ain't no way in the hell somebody gonna abduct my kid if I have them. You know what I'm saying? If they right there with me at the grocery store, we out in public, motherfucker, you gonna have to kill me to take my baby, because I'm not gonna just like be too in tune with what I'm looking at in the grocery store and not fucking pay attention to my kid. And then surveillance footage, like, did they even have cameras or something? Like, how did they not see, or how did she not know her son was missing or gone? And they was able to get away, you know, get away with him is what I'm trying to say, and be able to do all that fucked up shit to that little boy. I mean, damn. The parents of them boys should have seen that they kids mentally was going through something, unless, I don't know, man. I don't know. This shit's real bad.
kilometers away. Thomas Lane. On February 27, 2012, 17-year-old Lane came to his school armed with a .22 caliber handgun. He entered the cafeteria of Chardon High School and opened fire, leaving 3 dead and 3 more injured. Lane was initially tried as a juvenile, during which he remained remorseless throughout his trial. He was eventually tried as an adult and received 3 life sentences. Lissa Bustamante. This particular sinister 15-year-old seemingly wanted to kill someone just for the sheer thrill of it. One day, she took her 9-year-old neighbor, Elizabeth Alton, into the woods behind their houses, where she stabbed her, slit her throat and wrists, and strangled her to death, dumping her into a grave she dug 5 days earlier. She was sentenced to life. Paula Cooper. 15-year-old Paula Cooper was no honor student. She would skip school, smoke weed, and drink alcohol, but she took her truancy a step too far when she stabbed an elderly lady 33 times with a foot-long butcher knife. She served 26 years in prison and committed suicide soon after her release.
Yeah, this seemed like somebody who was going through it, crying for help. She ain't had no type of parent guidance, no fucking legal guardianship to try to steer her in the right way. And smoking and drinking and all this stupid shit. If you stab somebody that many times, you're mentally fucked. And for the simple fact that she stabbed herself when she got out, that lets you know she was.
Mary Bell. On May 25, 1968, the day before her 11th birthday, Mary and her friend Norma Bell strangled 3-year-old Brian Howe to death. But that wasn't all. After killing him, she went back and carved an M into his stomach with a razor. She also used a pair of scissors to cut off bits of his hair and genitals. Melinda Lovelace, Laurie Tackett, Tony Lawrence, and Hope Rippey. All 3 kids were between the ages of 15 and 17 when they abducted 12-year-old Shonda Scherer from her home. They took her to the woods where they forcefully stripped her naked, beat her severely, then stabbed and strangled her. After she failed to die, she was finally taken to a field and set on fire. Eric Smith. One day, 13-year-old Eric Smith lured 4-year-old Derek Roby into the woods, where he strangled the boy, smashed his head with a large rock, and sodomized his corpse with a stick. He confessed his heinous deeds to his mother a few days later, and she gave him up to the authorities. Jarrell Milton. At the age of 12, Jarrell and 2 cohorts, aged 15 and 17, attempted to rob 2 men. The trio lured the men under the guise of a drug deal in an attempt to relieve them of their possessions. One of their victims was shot and killed. All 3 boys were tried as adults and charged with first-degree murder.
This video out of Illinois is disturbing, and heads up, it's hard to watch. About 2 weeks ago in Decatur, cops pulled over a driver that's believed to have a gun. Officers approach the car.
Show me your hands, buddy.
And tell the guy to get out after an officer spots a weapon.
Get your hand up now! It's under his ass!
The guy claims he doesn't have a gun.
Stop. Stop.
Look under my ain't none of my.
But as cops try to remove him from the driver's seat,
Quit touching me. Quit touching me.
he appears to pull out a second handgun and shoots the cops at close range. Police immediately return fire and kill the driver. 2 officers were shot in the exchange, but they've since been released from the hospital. According to the Brady campaign, more than 1,300 people are shot every year in the US, and more than 521 are killed during run-ins with law enforcement. 32-year-old driver was a convicted felon who wasn't allowed to carry a gun. Police are still investigating the incident to determine if the shooting was justified.